Alright, what's up y'all, to Wrestle 1 vlog video, I guess you could say. This is a companion video to my review for WWE Survivor Series War Games that I put out. You can go check that out. More than likely, if you're looking at this video, you probably came over here from there. But like I said in that review, I wanted to talk more about CM Punk and just my feelings about him being in WWE, because like everyone else, I honestly didn't really think. I know a lot of people were saying like he's gonna be there, and I'm sorry for the lighting, you know. Okay, cool, I can do that. But yeah, it's like everyone else, a lot of people were saying that like he's not gonna be there, he's not gonna be there, and they said it with conviction, because it wasn't really nobody truly 100% reporting on it in that type of way where it's like, yes, our sources is saying that, you know, CM Punk is going to be there. It was just more people just, I guess you could say, wanting him to be there, that were saying that he's going to be there, but no one had 100% factual proof or anything that he was going to be there. So I myself, like a lot of other people, truly thought that, you know, CM Punk was not going to be at Survivor Series, even though he was going to be in Chicago, you know, just whatever. But I mean, a lot of us, like, we're eating our words. Like, we were completely wrong. Like, before I was going to do the review, I wanted to do in my predictions and talk briefly about CM Punk and whether I feel like if he's going to be there or not. And I completely forgot about it, and I put out my predictions because I was trying to hurry up and do it, and it was just whatever. I couldn't get my thoughts out before the pay-per-view event happened and whatnot. But basically my thoughts beforehand was, like I said before, I did not think that he was going to show up. I thought that it was not going to be this soon that WWE grabbed him, that he was going to probably be at the soonest, at the earliest, Royal Rumble. But I was thinking maybe the Raw after Mania, or even all the way to next summer, like maybe around going into SummerSlam or whatever, that they would probably grab him up. But I thought that they would give some time to let him breathe, and, you know, just kind of let everything that happened with AEW and all that stuff kind of really truly die out before bringing him in. But it seems like they wanted to get the power play. They wanted to get him in there and not waste any time. So it's like my thoughts on it before. Like, I don't remember everything I said before, but, you know, but I do stand behind every single thing. And saying what I'm about to say, I do stand behind everything I said before. Everything that happened with AEW and all that stuff with Tony Khan and everything, I do feel like it's one of those things that could have been avoided, and he is responsible for his portion of everything that happened from the first time to the second time, and everything kind of in between, everything that's been said or whatever on his behalf. Like, there's ways to handle certain situations, even if somebody else is saying ill things about you. It's like you don't have to fight fire with fire, you know. And so I stand completely behind that. But also in my thoughts is that if they were to get CM Punk and bring CM Punk into WWE again, that I'm okay with it. And the reason why I'm okay with it is due to the simple fact that WWE don't play. Whether Vince is in charge or whether he's not going to be able to pull that same shit that he pulled at AEW. Like, the one criticism that I had for Tony Khan was the fact that he acts more of like a fan that has money, that's really just like setting up shows because he has money, because he's rich, not really a promoter like Vince McMahon. He's not like a company owner or CEO. He's not acting like that. He's acting more of like a fan than anything else. And I think that's working. I ain't gonna say I think that's really working we're working against like him and him being a leader. And so when it comes down to it, WWE seems to be more strict. Like, when you think of WWE, when was the last time you heard about a brawl? When was the last time you heard about anything? I mean, you probably heard about some like disagreements, or maybe somebody got into it with somebody or whatnot behind the scenes, but it never escalated more than that. It never escalated to somebody throwing fists or threatening people or anything like it happened in AEW. And that's because they literally have a tighter ship. Like, that's really what it is. In AEW, it's like Tony Khan doesn't have a grasp of how he wants to run his ship. And a lot of people, and it shows. It really shows. So that's why I feel like him coming in WWE, it's not going to be that. And if he does find himself in that realm, then what's going to happen is that he's going to get fired. But I don't think that's going to be. I think Punk is going to be on his best behavior. That's what I honestly feel, because when you look at things, and I'm gonna kind of get to Raw, since I'm putting this out late. I'm gonna kind of get to like certain things that he said in his speech when he went on Raw, is that he really doesn't have too many options. There's not too many options out there. I mean, there are a lot of wrestling options, that like places that he could have gone, but as far as making the money that he is, that he will want to make, there's only two places. It's AEW and WWE. And AEW, he's not going back anytime soon. And WWE is the only other place. So the only other options you have is what, NWA or Impact, which, as much money as they probably would give him, it's not going to be as much money as he would make at AEW or WWE. So that's why I feel like he's going to be on his best behavior, because I believe that Punk knows that he doesn't have too many other options if you want to make the money that he wants to make. So he's not going to be, I guess you could say he's going to be a bit restrained. And I'm not saying that as a bad thing, but he's going to be under a microscope. I'm pretty sure that they've talked to him beforehand. Ario Emanuel, Nick Khan, Triple H, and whoever else needed to talk to him. I heard that Triple H sat down and talked with him for an hour, but I'm pretty sure that he's had other talks with other people, or messages got relayed, or just whatever. But I know that that was part of the conversation, that we've seen what you did in AEW and all that stuff. We can't have that here. We can't. You only get one shot, and that's it. And that's truly it. So I feel like all of that was relayed to him, that he's took it in, and he understands that he can't do what he did before. That it's just not going to fly in WWE. And that this is his last shot, and that he needs to really just kind of like do what he can with it. Positively. Like, so, and so that's why I'm okay with him being in WWE right now. Now, as far as the behind the scenes stuff that happened at Survivor Series, with Rollins acting the way he was acting, with reports talking about Drew McIntyre after the War Games match, he ended up leaving the building, and a lot of people kind of connecting it to the whole Punk thing and whatnot, because I heard that they were told, I want to say maybe earlier in the night, or not too much before the last before the men's War Games match. But regardless, I honestly feel like it is a work. I do feel like there are some ill feelings for Punk in the back with like a lot of superstars, and there are some people that are like for him, that welcome him, that mended bridges, and okay, we want him back. Okay, let's see what's going to happen. And there's some people that's indifferent, that never had any encounters with Punk, and just haven't had that type of interaction, good or bad, with him, and they want to see what he's about. So you're having all of these mixed emotions amongst the people. But I feel like there are people, like I said, WWE runs a tight ship, and that the wrestlers there can be professional enough to where they, even if they don't like Punk, they can work with him and still, just do the job. Do what's asked of them, and that's it. no extra stuff like with Jack Perry or the Bucks and CM Punk not going off the cuff, I'm pretty sure that everybody can get along enough to pull off a good story in the ring and with the promos and whatever they have them doing. So I feel like it is kind of a work, but it's kind of like maybe brought on by real feelings. But I feel like both of them are a work, and I believe that there is also saying that like they don't know whether or not Drew left because of CM Punk. It's speculated just because of, you know, everything that happened at the end of the War Games match, but it's not really like confirmed that that's the reason why he left. It probably could have just been more toward, you know, going with the kayfabe and, you know, just making it his characters mad that they lost, that the captain of his team lost, so he's just like mad and just left the building. So it could have been something like that, and then everybody just putting together all these like little pieces and trying to connect everything. So I feel like a lot of it is a work that we're not going to hear too much, because I feel like a lot of people are going to be restrained and told not to, you know, go here and say this, say that. And if anything is being said, it's more than likely either going to be, if it's a shoot, it's going to be tamed, or if it's a worked, it's going to be marketed throughout there. Just like when Rollins came out and he kind of briefly called him a hypocrite, because he's called him that before, which, when you look at like, you know, the past with CM Punk and what he said about WWE, you can kind of be like, yeah, he is kind of a hypocrite. But also going to like briefly like touch on what he said in his speech when he came back or whatnot, it was, I couldn't help but to like get from what he was saying in his speech and be like, he could have did that a little bit different. He's talking about like, he made it seem in his speech, in his promo, that he had so many options that it wasn't anything that was causing him. It wasn't AEW. It was his decision to want to come back to WWE. And it's like, if you are a Punk fan and you pay attention to everything that's been happened, it's like you kind of know that it wasn't truly his decision. If it was up to him, he was still, if the things that happened in AEW didn't happen, he would still be working in AEW. It wasn't no whole thing where he wanted to come back to WWE and everything else. It was, he had really no other options besides like Impact or anything else. And like I said before, if he wanted to make the money that he wants to make, and I guess more than likely he feels that he deserves to make, without AEW, the only other option is like WWE. Because I can't see Impact or TNA coming out of money, you know, coming out of pocket and paying him what WWE or AEW be paying him. Like, I honestly don't see that, at least for the long run. And so I couldn't help but to just really listen to what he's saying and being like, yeah, he's making it seem like it was his decision, but let's be real. You came back because you had really no other options. It was either WWE or more than likely quit. So it was just like, it was weird listening to like his promo and him talking about that and having this like gush fest of just like, I'm home, I'm back, and you're the reason why I'm back. And it's just like, yeah, like he put heavy emphasis on it, and it just, I don't know, it just kind of like we know. So I feel like he could have did it different. I feel like he could have vaguely addressed the situation with AEW and kind of be like, you know, I've done stuff recently and all that stuff, and I've learned from my mistakes, and like, I've heard you guys calling me in WWE, and that's why I came back. I wanted to show the world that I am for you, or something like that. Something that's kind of like blending truth in there, and then kind of, you know, giving like a little bit more, you know, you could still basically just retooling it a bit or whatnot. And so it's kind of like the thing that's been thrown out there with Triple H and everybody is that, oh, you know, people change and everything else, and Punk has shown change, and it's like, has he really? You know, we're not too far away from both instances, especially the most recent one. We're not too far removed. That's kind of like me getting into a fight with somebody, being a hothead, and then the next week talking about, oh yeah, I've changed. I'm a changed man. I don't get hot-headed anymore. It's like, you're not that far removed. I can see if it was like, if they're more than likely referring to how he was back in the day, like when around the time he got fired. But I don't know, like, I feel like he may have changed a bit, but overall he's kind of done the same stuff. That's the reason why he's no longer employed with AEW. So the whole thing with them saying like, oh, he's changed and everything goes, everyone changes, you're not the same person that you were, if you're not changed from the person that you were years ago, then, you know, blah blah blah. It's like, yeah, I don't know, man. It just, they would have done better with not saying that, because anybody that knows anything about the whole Punk situation knows that, yeah, I don't know if he's changed too much, but overall, what I'm saying is that we'll see what happens. If Punk gets into it with somebody, causes disruption and toxicity within the locker room in WWE, then he only has himself to blame. You know, unless we get other like reports of other people starting it with him and whatever. But still, like I've said before, there's other ways to, you know, handle a situation, even if someone else starts it. You know, he's a veteran. He should be the person that literally stands in between people and stopping people from fighting. But we'll see within the next few months, next year or so, how long it's going to take him. And I guess it's bad to say, because I know a lot of people got a lot of pulls on it, like how long will it take him to, you know, do something that's going to get him fired or whatever. So I don't know. I'm not about to say that. I'm just about to say, let's see what happens with him within the next 6 months. Let's see if there is any incidents, if there's any stuff that's being said or whatnot. We know that he's going to throw jabs, that he's going to say something about AEW or whatnot. It may not be like fully direct, but it's going to be some like indirect, like jabs at them or whatnot, some subliminal shots. But other than that, let's just see how everything is going to go when it comes to like CM Punk. If he is going to get into, you know, trouble, or if he's not, if he's going to have a good career and everything else. And that's just kind of more of, I guess you could say, that's one aspect of it. And I'm going to wrap this video up. There's one aspect of it. The other one is the injuries, because if you remember, besides him getting into it with other people at AEW, the other thing that plagued him was injuries. That, you know, he wins the championship, but then he gets injured. Wins another championship, get injured. You know, and so it's like wash, rinse, and repeat. And so it's like, will he be able to keep up with the WWE schedule? Will they give him the Edge schedule, where he's coming in every now and then, maybe have about 12 matches a year, and, you know, maybe just have that little sweetheart deal, sweetheart schedule, not like Roman Reigns, not like Logan Paul, but he's going to wrestle more. He's going to be in the ring more, whether it's like just having an appearance or actually physically in the ring wrestling. But those are the two things that we're going to see how it's going to play out: the injury aspect, as well as can he keep his mouth shut and his hands to himself long enough to have a good run in WWE. Because I don't honestly feel like he may end up going back to AEW. I feel like WWE, like, this chance is his last chance. And if he literally goes 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, however long he wants to go, and just literally have a great career, I feel like WWE is going to be the final stop, and he's going to find himself into the Hall of Fame. Or it's a Hall of Fame? Yeah, the Hall of Fame or whatnot. But we'll see. We'll see. I hope that, you know, everything pans out, that he's, you know, is going to do great, and he's not going to get in any trouble. And, you know, we're going to literally put all of this behind us. That we're going to look back at AEW like, yeah, that was fucked up, but yeah, Punk, he's came a long way. I feel like I just hope that that is something that is what's gonna happen. And I'm just kind of stumbling over because, like I said, everything. But yeah, that wraps up my thoughts on Punk and the overshadowing. I'm not even going to touch on that, but yeah, like it is kind of a shame that they brought him in at the same time that Randy came back, which overshadowed Randy's like return and even R-Truth's. But I mean, it is what it is. Chicago, I feel like, was the best place to bring him back. I'm pretty sure they're gonna be back in Chicago within the next few months, but whatever. They did what they did, and he's here. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the whole CM Punk thing. My honest thoughts of the whole thing. Like, thank you guys for checking out this video. I'm tired right now. Thank you guys for checking out this video. Give me a like if you like what I said. Subscribe if you're not. Hit the notification bell for more videos like this, and I will catch you guys on the next one. So peace out, stay safe, and try not to get in trouble. Phil Brooks.